What we're gonna do right here is go back, way back into time. These days are all I've been free. Happy days. Stop me now.
I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball.
Hey, Mix-a-Man, take things over.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long.
Sounds of the 70s with Johnnie Walker. BBC Radio 2.
Bam bam, mon ça se passe, j'ai sur mon lit à bouffer sa langue en buvant dans mon whisky. Quant à moi, peu dormi, vie débris, mais j'ai dû dormir dans la gouttière où j'ai eu un flash. En 4 couleurs. Allez hop, un matin, une louloute est venue chez moi, poupée de cellophane, cheveux chinois, un sparadrap, une gueule de bois, a bu ma bière dans un grand verre en caoutchouc. Comme un indien dans son igloo. Ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi. Moi. Ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi. Allez hop, la nana, quelle panard, quelle vibration de s'envoyer sur paillasson. Limé, ruiné, vidé, comblé. You are the king of the divan, qu'elle me dit en passant. I am the king of the divan. Ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi. Moi. Ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi. Allez hop, t'occupe, t'inquiète, touche pas ma planète. It's not today que le ciel me tombera sur la tête et que la colle me manquera. Ça plane pour moi. Allez hop, ma nana, c'est tiré, c'est barré, enfin c'est marre à tout casser. L'évier, le bar me laissant seul, comme un grand connard. Le pied dans le plat, ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi. Moi. Ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi.
Plastic Bertrand, Ça plane pour moi. And that's a top 10 hit from 1978 and our very first one-of-a-kind song when we launched the feature in the spring. And good afternoon, happy Boxing Day to you. Johnnie Walker here. And for the next couple of hours, it's quirky 70s songs all the way. It's our one-of-a-kind special. We started a feature back in the spring. You've been emailing great suggestions for the feature every single week. And it's a chance to shine the spotlight on those unique and distinctive songs that sounded like nothing else in the chart at the time. And we compiled the very best of your suggestions. Plus, I'll throw in a few that we haven't played yet, along with a few personal favourites of mine and the team. Now, you couldn't get more left field and more different than this next particular record. Huge favourite with the kids. And it was number one exactly 50 years ago this week. And I bet Benny never thought we'd still be playing it 50 years on. Here he is, that naughty, fastest milkman in the West.
You could hear the hoofbeats pound as they raced across the ground, and the clatter of the wheels as they spun round and round. And he galloped into Market Street, his badge upon his chest. His name was Ernie, and he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. Now Ernie a widow, a lady known as Sue. She lived all alone in Lily Lane at number 22. They said she was too good for him. She was haughty, proud and chic. But Ernie got his cocoa there 3 times every week. They called him Ernie. And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. She said she'd like to bathe in milk. He said, all right, sweetheart. And when he'd finished work one night, he loaded up the cart. He said, you want it pasteurised, 'cause pasteurised is best. She says, Ernie, I'll be happy if it comes up to me chest. That tickled old Ernie. And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. Now Ernie had a rival, an evil-looking man called Two-Ton Ted from Teddington, and he drove the baker's van. He tempted her with his treacle tarts and his tasty oatmeal bread, and when she seen the size of his hot meat pies, it very near turned her head. She nearly swooned at his macaroon, and he said, now if you treat me right, you'll have hot rolls every morning and crumpets every night. He knew once she sampled his layer cake, he'd have his wicked way, and all Ernie had to offer was a pint of milk a day. Poor Ernie. And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. One lunchtime, Ted saw Ernie's awesome cart outside her door. It drove him mad to find it was still there at 4:30. And as he leapt down from his van, hot blood through his veins did course, and he went across to Ernie's cart and he didn't half kick his horse, whose name was Trigger. And he pulled the fastest milk cart in the West. Now Ernie rushed out into the street, his gold top in his hand. He said, if you want to marry Susie, you fight for her like a man. Oh, why don't we play cards for her, he sneeringly replied. And just to make it interesting, we'll have a shilling on the side. Now Ernie dragged him from his van, and beneath the blazing sun, they stood there face to face, and Ted went for his bun. But Ernie was too quick, things didn't go the way Ted planned, and a strawberry-flavoured yoghurt sent it spinning from his hand. Now Susie ran between them and tried to keep them apart, and Ernie pushed her aside and a rock cake caught him under his heart. And he looked up in pained surprise, and the concrete hardened crust of a stale pork pie caught him in the eye, and Ernie bit the dust. Poor Ernie. Ernie! And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. Ernie was only 52. He didn't want to die. But now he's gone to make deliveries in that milk round in the sky, where the customers are angels and ferocious dogs are banned, and a milkman's life is full of fun in that fairy dairy land. But a woman's needs are manifold, and Sue, she married Ted. But strange things happened on their wedding night as they lay in their bed. Was that the trees a-rustling, or the hinges of the gate? Or Ernie's ghostly gold tops a-rattling in their crate? They won't forget Ernie. Ernie! And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West.
And there it is, the one and only Benny Hill, whose shows are on repeat again. And you know, I was in New York once, and he was hugely popular in America. And I was in a bar, and the guy behind the bar kept looking up at the TV, and it was showing a Benny Hill show. There was no sound on, but still he found it incredibly funny and was laughing. He was amazing and very politically incorrect in this day and age. Benny Hill with Ernie. And next up, it's a song chosen by Chris Burns from Rugby, who's got very fond memories of this number one from October of 1972. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Johnny. I was born in 1968 and first introduced to this record via one of the many K-Tel type compilation vinyls my parents had during my early school years through the 70s. Then again in the early 1990s when I started banger racing, as it is the adopted rolling start tune at most tracks up and down the country. For me, it became associated with the buzz of banger racing, which even now I haven't found with anything else that I've tried. The unmistakable opening to Mouldy Old Dough instantly makes the hair stand on my arms and neck. It makes me smile, and I'm sure anyone who ever sat in a banger car can relate. Would you class it as a novelty song, or just a damn fine tune? I'm no longer racing, but still involved as my son does. Wimbledon Stadium has now been demolished, but this tune takes me straight back to those nights. Hi to anyone involved with the racing, and I'm sure they get the same feeling. Wimbledon Stadium, sat on the grid, legs shaking, heart beating, then this tune above the noise of the engine with the revs rising, the pace car moves, the flags drop, and you're away.